All right, cool. I see the little recording thing in progress. And then we'll just wait for Joseph to get in here. And then I'll share content. I'll just start sharing content right now and go to the Google Drive.
Well, can't you request for the remote controller? No.
Control my. Well, I could. You could control my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think.
Yeah, because would that work better for you guys? Yeah, that probably would, because she's the host. So.
And then you just have to. How do you do it, Jordan? I think
you just go to move your mouse and then go to View Options up there. Click it, and then it should say Request Remote Control for you, Vanessa.
Okay.
Or you just tap the phone, I guess, and then it should say View Options up there, correct?
I don't think I have the.
Or maybe it just doesn't work on the phone. I'm not sure.
Because I have I can draw on there. But it doesn't matter. So, basically we just need your screen shared, Amber, so that, because that'll be like the main recording screen.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's get started on this study guide here. So, all right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's okay. I'm just trying to count how many questions.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Okay. How about let's just talk about each of the articles today, rather than and we'll just go through them together. Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect.
All right. So, what is a political action committee?
Okay, well, Google says a political committee.
It's like, is it like a type of a business or organization that raises money for elections?
Yeah, exactly. So basically their purpose is just to raise money. There are examples both on the right and the left. Yeah.
Sorry.
And I wouldn't say it's, did you write the committee?
Yeah, what do you want me to write?
Come on, zoom for me.
What do you?
Okay. Yeah. And so an important thing to note is that these committees aren't directly affiliated with the parties. They have names like conservatives for such and such. And they usually have a particular issue or something, or like Conservatives for America. And
so it's necessary that is whoever fits their needs that they want, that's who they help?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. And
so, what are the different ways a candidate running for president can raise money?
He can have individual donors, like rich people, donate to his campaign. And then political action committees are another. And then there's also the 527 committees, which are independent nonprofit,
Yeah.
and the 501 committees, which are politically active nonprofit. So they don't just donate; they're like active in politics and trying to make legislation.
Yeah.
And then there's political parties. I guess those kind of like the like dinners the mayor has and stuff to raise money.
Yeah. And like there's like the Democratic Party itself having, and like the GOP having their own funds and everything to help the people that they've chosen as their representative for the party. Because that's kind of what the primary is for. It's like deciding, okay, who among us are we going to give all of our money to support against the other person?
They're pretty much doing that to then have that candidate who they're giving the money to win. That's the whole purpose of it.
Because historically, money has been key to winning elections. It's only until recently that we're starting to see a trend where the candidate who spends the most doesn't win. But that's very rare. So yeah. Do you think democracy is endangered by the need to raise huge amounts of money to gain public office?
I think it does to an extent, because those who can give the most are those who show support for politicians. Like, it's kind of like scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, and like if you don't have connections and aren't that well off, how well are you going to do if you want to run for public office?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Andrea. It also causes like a big, I think that was like the polarization issue too, because if you want the money, you're gonna want to agree with people who are giving you the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There ends up being a lot of people pleasing and just like, okay, I'll conform my ideas so you give me your money.
Wasn't that how all politics work? Is you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
It is. And there comes the other argument that people are expressing their voice through their money. They're expressing their support.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if a candidate has a lot of money, it's because people support them. And I think that's always been a thought, but I don't know how true that has been until kind of now with like more of individual fundraising that we're seeing through like both Obama in 2012 and Bernie Sanders in the last election. So,
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Wasn't one of the articles that we read were about like rich individuals who like gave a lot of money to Republican Party? Like they didn't really care which candidate it was, as long as it was from the Republican Party, because they wanted someone who was like in the ballpark of what they stood for.
Exactly. And that's the other argument that comes with money is like, yes, money shows support, but if you're one individual and you have a lot of money, can't you pick your own winners more so than somebody who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we saw in the Boss Rove article, where they're like, okay, yeah, we choose who makes it to the round before the primaries because they need our funding. Otherwise, how are they going to get publicized?
Mm-hmm.
What, they're best friends with the publishers of newspapers and ABC and all the big names on TV.
That's one way, and that's what we're seeing with our celebrity, Mr. Trump. And that's how he got, like, because, yes, he had a lot of money, but he had public support because he was already in the media and everything.
Right.
Even though now the media is his worst enemy.
Except Fox.
Oh yes, except for Fox and Breitbart. But then again, Bannon's not in the White House anymore, so. But yeah, so it's kind of, and if that TED Talk that I have in the YouTube links, that's that's actually the video that I have attached. I have to go with this study guide because it really talks about kind of that the 1% and are able to choose who we choose from. And that's kind of what the Sheldon primary hints at.
Oh, yeah, the article.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really fascinating video. So I recommend all of you watch it after this. So yeah. All right. Next question. Are you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Cool. Is the need for big money leading to less democracy or government by special interests? So.
I would say less democracy
Yeah, that's kind of what we just talked about.
because there's big money spending. I think it's promoting special interests.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because if you have a special interest and you have money, you get to sway the representatives a bit more. Because you're like, hey, I can donate to your next campaign.
What do you think that would be a sense for? Because obviously Trump has money, so he wouldn't care as much with people dangling money in his face.
And that was one reason why people were really interested in him at the beginning, because they were like, oh, he has money. He doesn't need anybody to
like sway him a certain way.
And that's something that he repeated over and over. But Trump has been bankrupt 3 times. And the Clintons pretty freaking well off. So I mean you could make the same argument for Clinton, honestly.
It just kind of sucks how like people like we use what was it called? Was it
heuristics?
Yeah, and like we assume that because our economy is in a bad shape and because he's a businessman, then like he would be like good to deal with the country.
Yeah, we automatically think, okay, he's a businessman, so he's good with economics, even though historically we've seen that he isn't. And yes, he has lots of successes, but he has lots of failures. So
I think he's good in the sense of money-wise. Yes, he knows how to obviously come back from a loss, but no, he's obviously not fit to run for the country. That's something I totally agree on. He's not.
And so, also another little thing is that a couple of years back, like maybe like I don't know, I want to say like actually maybe no. Shit. Has it been like 10 years? Damn.
Since what?
So Trump actually tried doing like this housing complex in like the county that I lived in. And it failed miserably because like the buildings weren't like properly made and stuff like that. There was just like a lot of bad business practices. And so I think that's what sticks with me as far as him and stuff like that. But I do agree with I do see your point, Jordan.
Yeah, I guess you had it firsthand, I guess.
Yeah. And like, yeah, he was kind of laughed out of there because it was just
thing.
such a failure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, he's only in it for himself anyway, so.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the only side that he's on is Trump's side. And Trump's side is must be greatest man in history. Whatever that means.
Right.
That means start a war.
Seriously.
I think tomorrow we're gonna have a pretty fun discussion in class.
Oh yeah, that's definitely so many good news items. Gosh, yeah, no, like each end of the week, I'm like, I have to watch like John Oliver and like Bill Maher's, and like I'm like, I need to just like this is like therapy, just talk through the problems.
Right.
But I'm also, but thankfully I am aware that I am going into my bubble at this point, rather than just being like, oh no, it's fine, I'm not biased. But yeah, okay, so governing California. So in what ways has California dealt with money in campaigns? Are candidates able to spend whatever they want, or do they have a limit?
I don't know. I read all the readings together, so they kind of mesh. But is it the one where they put like I think it's like individuals can donate like $2,000 per campaign per.
That's actually presidential.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. California.
I'm guessing it's as much as they want.
Yeah. And does anybody remember when Jerry Brown was last running for governor against, I think it was Meg Whitman?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think she was the former executive of HP.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had bank,
Yeah.
And she actually outspent Jerry Brown.
Wow.
But she lost. And that was one of the first elections where the outspender has lost. So it's pretty like groundbreaking.
I don't even think it's the money factor. I think it's just that Jerry Brown got his name out there, and he's always been out there. So I've known of him ever since I was little.
I mean, he's a former governor.
Right. And so I think that's mostly why he won. It wasn't about the money. It's just getting your name out there and getting a good word for your name, not a bad word.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And like California's so liberal in like everywhere except for where I lived.
That little red dot.
Yeah, no, I literally no, it's like I just remember like my high school teacher calling him Moonbeam Brown.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was a hippie, so he was Moonbeam. It's like.
Did you have a lot to say to your teacher, or are you not? You didn't choose a side at that time.
No, it was like I also I wasn't that aware about politics and didn't know that much at that time. So I was just like, okay, sure. I mean, that just means that he's very liberal, and also I needed to take what so this was actually like my history teacher. He was also the football coach and track coach. Yeah. And so, but he was a fantastic history teacher. Like, I do model a lot of like my teaching and stuff off of him. But pretty conservative. So we had our arguments, but he respected my points. So
that's good.
Yeah, but he was a Reagan fanatic.
Really?
Yes. No, he really was into like phonetics and stuff like that to help us learn. And so like one thing that he loved to say is Ronald Wilson Reagan. So I just have that in my head forever.
Every time you think of him.
Yeah. And like I remember I was at the Capitol building and stuff like that. Like I sent a Snapchat to like my high school friends and stuff like that, just caps of Ronald Wilson Reagan because there's a statue of him in the Capitol building. So yeah, good times. So R1 Money Machine. What's this article about?
Oh, is it the one about the Obama campaign?
No, that's R2.
It's R2.
I think R1 is about Bush's.
Yeah.
Bush's money campaign, basically.
Yeah, it's about Bush's money campaign. And so, what happened, Joseph? What was going on with Bush's campaign?
Sorry, I'm just trying to remember.
No, you're good.
It was like, he was talking about like how Bush was trying to essentially raise money, and then as he started gaining ground, like people just started just giving him money, just like a type of bandwagon effect.
Yeah. Because it's like that, oh, this person's getting support. I should support them too. And so that's kind of what I was talking about, where money is seen as support and a voice rather than, oh, hey, one person could have a lot of money and could be that whole voice. It's like, you know, like those internet polls and stuff like that, and like how they can be really skewed if you just like take the poll over and over again and choose the same answer, so that, oh look, 50% of answers say your answer because you did it 50 times. So,
like in this article, they also talk about how like the CEOs of companies and stuff, they would send out emails to their employers and like encourage them to contribute to like Bush's campaign, right, as a way to collect more money. And like, yeah. And do you remember the dinners that he would put on? So when Bush was running, this was before Citizens United and that's a court case. It's actually, the professor didn't have you guys read it this time. And so that's actually what the case that said that, okay, your money can be seen as a form of speech. And companies can donate as they see fit, because they can. It's like the companies are people too, ruling. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And so they can use money to relay their support. So so before that, during Bush's campaign, individuals are limited into the amount that they can donate, and that goes with the what Andrea was talking about with the how much individuals can spend as well. Do you remember that?
When did they set this limit?
I'm trying to remember, because I know this is all in G10. I don't have that book out in front of me.
But obviously there's a reason behind them setting the limit, so there was a story behind that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And so, because I'm pretty sure there still is an individual. I think there's an individual limit still. I'm not sure. I'm going to look that up. Because I don't want to be telling you guys the wrong thing. Individual campaign contribution limits. Okay. So, an individual may give a maximum of $2,700 per election to a federal candidate or the candidate's campaign committee. Notice that the limit applies separately to each election. Primaries, runoffs, and general elections are considered separate elections. $5,000 per calendar year to a PAC. So, you could give $2,700 to your candidate's actual campaign, and you can give $5,000 to the political action committee that supports them.
How about the VP that supports them?
So they're gonna be together because they'll be on the same ticket, and so they're considered the same campaign. But you can donate to multiple PACs. And
loophole.
Yep. And a thing that rich people did, and so also this number is based on inflation and everything. So it used to be like 1,100 during Bush's election when he was running. And so what they would do is that they would have these dinner parties, and for the dinner it would be that donation, that amount of money. And so, like a family of four would each of them would donate 1,100. Even little 4-year-old Timothy.
Man, he's balling.
Yep. And that's a really effective way.
Well, isn't that kind of like a thing of like, because I used to
raise money.
Oh, you were lagging out there for a sec.
Of what? Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
No, I don't know. I heard you stop, so then you kept on playing. I don't know if it was like a lag or something in my internet. But I used to work at Jason's Opinions, so they used to have like those ticket things. If you have to be like 18 or older, you can only take one per person. It says, I'm like, oh, well, I'm just gonna bring all my. Actually, no, it said one per family. That's what it said. So, they would split up their families pretty much. Say, oh, my own family, and so they grab all the little tickets in there. Pretty much a loophole just of them. That's how they would get their coupons or whatever. Yeah, it's just cheating the system, I guess. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what a lot of campaign spending is just trying to work the system so you can still spend what you want to spend.
Right.
So, well, oops. My mom is calling me. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Hi, Mom. I'm teaching class right now, so I'm gonna call you back in 10 minutes, okay? Bye.
You can never not answer your mom's phone call.
Yep. It's weird because normally she knows and she has my schedule, so such is life. Huh?
So that one time and it could be an emergency,
Exactly. So I'd rather pick up. Yeah. So I think we kind of answered 2 already within our other questions. So how Silicon Valley made Barack Obama this year's hottest startup. What's this article about?
It's basically about like the Silicon Valley entrepreneurs who supported financially the Barack Obama campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the things that they mentioned was that since they're entrepreneurs and they're like fairly like new as opposed to Hollywood and stuff, they don't have political ties to any other politicians in particular. So the reason they donated to him was because he seemed like a good person to invest, just like when they invest in some like new technology or something like that.
Yeah, because what he wanted to do benefited them, you know? Healthcare for their workers. What a concept. It makes it cheaper for them.
Mm-hmm.
And free education at the community college level. Also really good. So, yeah. And
the only thing I don't agree with that free college thing is that I think you should test into it. Not just everyone gets to it. Obviously, you have to put the work in to get in.
Yeah, I think that should be
because I feel like the classes would be super packed if you had everyone go to college and they tried it, you know. Because if the people who are struggling and they're smart enough, but they just don't have the money, they can test into and get it no problem. So.
And well, I don't know. So the problem there also there comes the problem that a college degree is becoming as necessary as a high school diploma in the workforce.
Right.
And so that's the only part that I'm hesitant, because it's becoming something that's almost mandatory for everyone, even if you're not made for college, because honestly, college isn't for everyone.
Well, I feel like it would be if everyone actually tried. You know, if people don't try in high school, it's you show up to class and you cheat off your neighbor and you graduated, hooray. But college, obviously, you have to put in the work and test for it. I think, like for me, like I'm not a big test taker, so I do fail sometimes, and obviously it makes me want to work twice as hard to not fail it again. But yeah, that's how I think, at least.
Yeah, I think testing in with programs to support people who need help to test in.
Right. Same thing with the SAT.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good compromise. Yeah.
I think Andrea had a question.
Yeah, Andrea?
Oh no, I was just saying how like I think I'm that kind of person who college isn't for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still here.
Yeah, and you're doing good. So.
You're almost done, right?
I'm a junior, so.
Yeah, almost done. There you go.
Yeah.
Closer than we are.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so I'd ask you more about that and stuff like that, but we really should get through this more.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk more. We gotta. It'd be nice to go out for coffee if everybody would be down at the end of like.
If anyone knows how to play a spike ball, we get spike ball out here.
I do not know what that is, but we'll have to talk about that before class one of these days.
Yeah.
Okay, so Boss Rove, as we talked about, was kind of investors being able to just put in money to the Republican candidate, not really caring who they are, but supporting the Republican candidate because that's who has their interest in mind. So, yeah. And then I just want to get through this quickly because I kind of want to go over to the interest groups one, too. So, and then kind of the Sheldon primary. And then that's Coke's plan, not Cox. So, just in case you guys thought.
What does it say now?
It's Coke's
I don't even
plan
see
to
it.
spend. So, just in case one of you guys wanted to talk about it in class. That way you're not being like, yeah, Cox planned to spend $900 million on 2016 campaign.
I see. Yeah.
It's like when D's Nuts was running.
I was voting for him.
But yeah, so you guys feel okay on the Sheldon primary and the Koch's plan? Or should we talk about it?
I mean, that was different between them. Because it just seems like everyone was just big money spenders that just spent a lot of money on the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Sheldon primary, he had more control over kind of what happened, whereas they just donated a ton of money.
Yeah, Sheldon used his money with more purpose compared to in the Boss Rove article. And also compared to the Koch's plan. So this is a very rich, actually, I think they actually are a Russian family that's been in America for a while, but has always been on the conservative side and have used their money to influence those elections. And so they just have a plan to spend that much on the 26th campaign. It would be interesting to actually see how much they did spend. But we're running out of time, so I don't want to extend this too long. So yeah, those are those two articles. So do you guys feel comfortable with this study guide?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's go over to the interest group study guide real quick.
Oh shoot, oh, sorry.
Whoa, what is that?
And also, it is 6:50, so if you want to leave, you can. But also, if you guys saw, I put up whatchamacallit, a little progress report meeting times and stuff like that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So if you guys could put in when you're available to meet, that would be great.
Starbucks.
I originally scheduled them to be over at Park, but we could go down and get coffee and come back up though.
Sounds good.
Mhm. Because I want to show you guys how to calculate your grade and everything, and see how you're doing right now, and see how I can help you improve. So yeah. All right, real quick, what are interest groups?
Individuals who organize to influence the government's programs and policies.
Yeah, and that's their purpose. They gather to influence policy. And so, what are a couple interest groups?
I know one that they talk about that is very dominant or whatever was the AA retirement people something.
Yeah, the American Association for Retired Persons, AARP.
Yeah.
I hear that commercial everywhere.
Yeah. And like my grandma's a member, and I see the magazine and stuff like that when I'm over at her house. And then another example is the NRA, the National Rifle Association.
Oh yeah, that was that one crazy article that was about, right?
Yeah, because they've really transformed as an interest group. Gotten a lot, very powerful.
To protect their amendment rights.
And we're actually going to go into detail and stuff like that about them in lecture. Yeah, so, and then like the World Wildlife Fund would also be one, and PETA.
What's PETA?
People for the Equal Treatment of Animals, even though they're a completely corrupt interest group, and I won't go into that, but, I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to put that out there, just fuck PETA.
Whoa.
I'm not talking about Hunger Games. Yeah, no, they're super hypocritical, so I despise them. So yeah, and I keep saying that I'm not going to talk about them, and I do, so I need to stop myself now.
We'll talk later about it.
Yeah, later. So how do interest groups try to influence government and policy? What's the main avenue?
Money, or getting the right person in office.
Yeah, but
isn't it
a word for it? Yeah, that's the word, lobbying. And so there are people who are professional lobbyists, and they work for an interest group, and they lobby politicians. Basically, they talk to them, try to persuade them. When you hear lobby, think of persuasion.
Like car salesmen?
Yeah, basically, it's just like this, because they're just so focused on their point.
Right.
And so they're just like, that's all they care about, is their position.
So they don't care who the face is, as long as they're for their points, it's good. Exactly.
Some have more integrity than others and stuff like that, and that's and like, because a thing with lobbyists is that some do bribe politicians and stuff, and that's where you get into trouble if you get caught.
Right.
And so it's interesting because it can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. I would say it's a necessary evil because politicians aren't educated on everything and the specifics of all issues. So it is actually really helpful to have these experts to talk to them about these issues.
Yeah.
The problem is that they do bring a bias.
Of course.
So, but that's kind of humans too.
Exactly.
So how do these differ from political parties?
Are they non-profit? Are they both non-profit?
I don't know if yeah, I guess political parties would be a non-profit technically, because they're not doing it for profit. They're doing it to elect somebody. And
is that kind of profit in a sense? Not profit money-wise, but profit of winning?
Yeah, but so think about the people who are a part of these two groups and the way that they try to influence government and policy.
Would it be that interest groups are like they have become more of an elite type of activity because they have like the money and the time to fund them, whereas like poor people can't? They don't have the same resources.
Yeah, and that does happen, and that's why kind of the smaller grassroots lobbyists often don't get their point across because money talks. Because you do see people lobbying, even though they may not have the funds that other groups do have. You do see them in Washington, but again, they don't have the same type of influence. So yeah, but are these people running for office?
They're not.
Yeah. So, and political parties, what are they doing?
They're running for office.
Yeah. So they see political parties' purpose is to get representatives in representing their interests in public office.
And that's why that money speaks for them.
And that's how they influence government policy. Interest group, yeah. And so, because they need money to run campaigns to get reelected.
So where do they get the money from? Is it just other donors?
For interest groups?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. They get other donors, but they also have members and everything, such as the AARP and the NRA. They have membership fees, and so that's how they're able to gain money.
So what's the point? And is it just to hopefully win? When it's they're person that doesn't win, it's just a waste of money then, because they obviously put all that money in, like they pay to the interest groups, and then the interest groups put it to the party that they want, right? So they all lose if the person who they wanted to elect doesn't get elected, right?
Mm-hmm. And there comes the beginning of the Iron Triangle. And that'll be, I think that's in the next section of the interest groups. Or no, actually it's in bureaucracy, but yeah. We'll get to it later. So yeah, no, and that's why it becomes so key for these people to win, because they're investing in them.
That's why Republicans are very happy this election, because they actually profited for once.
Mm-hmm. And that's one reason why people are so bitter after elections and stuff like that too. It's because not only did your person lose, you probably lost a lot of money. So yeah. So it is 7:00. Do you guys want to call it? Or do you want to talk more through this?
I don't care.
What's the general consensus here, people?
Speak up, ladies and men. We can't hear you, Ember. You're speaking very low.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, Jordan.
Oh, there we go. You got a raspy voice or something?
Oh. Breathe.
Okay, and now I can actually see you guys. So, Andrea, what do you think? Meh.
You guys.
Joseph, it's up to you. No pressure. You're good to continue or to the end?
Thank you.
I'm good to continue if you guys want.
Okay, so let's just go through this. All right. So, all right. 4. This is a long-winded one. A continuing problem for labor unions is the free rider problem. The free rider is one who receives benefits of a group but does not join it. An example is a worker who does not join a labor union but still receives union-negotiated wages, benefits, and vacations, unless, of course, unions, of course, not unless. Unions, of course, want anyone who receives benefits to belong to the organization. This is called closed shop. Many states have passed the right to work laws that forbid a closed shop. Should people who enjoy benefits of the union be required to join? Can the union be effective if people are not required to join?
Yeah. Obviously, it's like saying I'm working for McDonald's, but I'm not actually working. I'm just collecting the money. So obviously, there's money that's put into the union to have those rights and to get those wages. So it's like abandoning ship, I guess. You're getting the benefits but not having to put in the work. So obviously, when they go on strike, you don't have to go on strike, and you're still collecting a paycheck. So yeah, I think it can be effective if you're not in it.
Yeah, and because they can still be effective if you're not in it, but
it's not as effective, right? Because if people don't want to be in it, then the majority of the people aren't even paying or supporting the union. And because like nurses have a union, and we have to pay a lot out of their paychecks, like for the union, but the union fights like so much for them, so that's not fair for the people, who don't have to pay and still get those benefits.
I mean, think of group projects, guys.
Yeah.
We're all familiar with those, and that we have free riders who get the grade without doing the work. It's kind of the same concept. But there are people who are like, I don't support the union, so I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to strike. Andrea, you want to say something?
So for my work, I'm required to join a union. So I'm part of a union because I have to be.
Yep.
And so far, honestly, I haven't paid too much interest into looking at like what they do and stuff.
Yeah.
They take money out of my paycheck to to pay the people that work for them and all that.
Yep.
And, supposedly fight, but I haven't seen any. I don't know. I just feel like right now, for me at least, in like the union that I'm specifically in, they've just been taking money. Like when I got my job, they charged me a $300 entry fee for the union, and I didn't even have a job.
Oh my god!
So,
what do you do?
Where do you work?
I work at a grocery store.
What the heck?
Is that for the cashiers union?
Let me show you. They sent me a magazine recently.
That's weird. Oh my god.
Crazy.
Yeah, because I'm required. I too am required to be a part of a union. And actually, at first, they really weren't that effective, but they've been really active in the last 2 years and have actually helped kind of secure our minimum wage and actually helped secure an increase for wages lost, actually. So it's like, but I totally understand what you mean, because the first half of, because I've been, how long have I been working here? All right, I've been working here for 5 semesters. So, like the first
2.5 years
part, first part, I didn't see my union at all. I just knew that they took a little bit out of my check, but then they started doing things. So it's like,
you won't see it all the time. I mean, there's nothing to fight. If there's nothing to fight for, like if the workers are okay with everything at the moment, there's obviously nothing to fight for. But I don't think they should charge you the same amount still. I think that they're not working as hard. They don't get paid the amount that if they're not working as hard for you guys,
Yeah, and like an entry fee of that kind of amount, I feel like is really counterintuitive. like
it's kind of like a barrier for you to get a job, because what if you're
it really is like what if
struggling?
Exactly, and so you have to join this thing so you can
get a job,
actually get money.
It's like a down payment.
It doesn't make it's a down payment so you can get payment.
And it's not that you don't work. It's not that much money,
Yeah, like maybe
that's not fair.
Maybe you get 300 your first month there, if that.
Right.
If you actually get good hours.
Yeah.
And that's just such bullshit. Is that Safeway or something? What grocery store is this?
No, it's like the Rayleigh's company.
Oh.
You get a lot of benefits though, right?
Oh yeah, we have really good benefits. I don't know if they're provided by the union though. That's where I'm not clear.
See,
yeah.
That must be that's one that can be why that they do that. Is that the union probably negotiated those benefits for you guys? And so that's why
you get them after what, a year?
6 months.
Oh.
We get after 6 months of working, you can get dental, medical, and optometrist.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's great.
Yeah, you also get sick pay.
Oh wow.
Which is really good.
At entry level?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Hey, there's a Rayleigh's that's opening up on that intersection on how you could bike over there, Jordan.
Here I come. Money's
flowing. Do you have that $300?
I don't have that. I'm broke.
Gotta ask your parents for a loan.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, if I'm correct, take that they take it from your first checks.
Oh, okay.
So that's initial where you feel it.
Yeah. So you can do a payment plan kind of thing?
Well, it's just kind of you fill out the information and they just kind of start taking the money from your check.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not right away.
No, it's the first 2 checks that you get.
Okay.
That's where they take it from.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So you still get something, but it's significantly less.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Also, same history teacher. He was like, "Yeah, I have to be part of the union. I want to be part of the union." Because there's the California Teachers Union.
Oh, yeah. I heard how they is it the CTA?
Yeah, that sounds right.
California's Teacher Association.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And my governing government class for California government class, we're talking about I think it's Proposition 98 or something. Where it's designates 40% of the budget to go to K through 14. And,
oh yeah.
And kind of how that kind of screwed up, because now if we have a good year, economic year, the governor isn't likely to put more money in there because of that requirement. How if you put a lot of money into K to 14 this year, next year you have to match it. And what if next year you have a bad year? So that's kind of iffy.
Yeah, that's really difficult. Yeah. But as far as but it's interesting but that's unions are only one type of interest group. We do want to remember that. Because I think it is important to think about both AARP and the NRA. I really should have more examples, but nothing's coming to mind because it's Monday. So
much partying over the weekend for you?
Yeah, partying, aka writing. I just want sleep. But okay, yeah. So yeah, and so and these groups also should support people's interests and everything. And I think there are also religious interest groups that support their political interests. I'm pretty sure there is one for the Catholic Church and their beliefs, and being like, yeah, gotta get rid of that contraceptive, no abortions.
Okay.
Gotta get rid of divorces. Can't really get that one passed because people are too attached to that.
What's the number one cause for divorce is marriage, so.
Yep.
That's a good one.
I mean, that's crazy because I mean, like 50% of marriages end up in divorce.
That's sad.
Mm-hmm. The other 50% end in death.
Hey, I bet you 25% of that is military because they weren't.
What was that, Jordan? I'm sorry.
I said 25% of that marriage divorce thing is because obviously the military, if you're married, you get more benefits. So people get married right out when they graduate.
I think it's social media because people are seeing other people that are so happy. And they're like, why can't I be happy? So they dump their husband and they chase after someone so they can be happy.
Because they're like, it's not.
Maybe
I'm not happy
that's
enough.
5%.
No.
But then there's the people that are like, oh, look at them, they're so happy. I want to get married too.
Yeah.
Like they're having babies. I want babies.
Those are correct followers.
It's like when those, because I mean, I don't know, I've heard this a million times. It's just like, yeah, when I'm on Facebook, all I see are my friends getting married and having kids and like graduating from college, and I'm like, yeah, that's people's life achievements, and that's what they're gonna put on Facebook.
Yeah.
What other society can we do?
It really hasn't changed that much. I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, I heard Becky down in the village had a baby. I want one too.
Yeah. Like for me, like my group of friends from high school, they all got married like right after.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like the only like single one.
Good
and
for
I
you.
kind of feel left out, but I'm not gonna go get married.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm like, no.
How old are you when you got married?
18?
Really?
Yeah.
19.
Oh my gosh. There was only like one couple at my school. As soon as they graduated, they got married.
Yeah, I went to one of my friends' weddings because it was before graduation that she got married and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure if she's still with the person, so that's fun. But then also from where I was, people just had babies.
Really?
Because teen pregnancy was it was an epidemic basically. It was just like, and then girls, like I knew a girl who wanted to get pregnant. And I'm like, yeah. And I was just like, she purposely got pregnant her senior year.
Yeah. Young. Did she not have any dreams in life? Like, come on.
Yeah. See, and it's just
a housewife.
A baby. Like, that's it.
And it's weird because like now I'm starting to see like friends have babies and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be over here with my cat and my snake.
Yeah.
So yeah, people in life. I get you, Andrea. Okay, so let's get back to this. We're having good conversations, though. I like this.
We're bonding.
We are. And see, this was like when it was just Andrea and Joseph and I. That we had that one day, and it was nice. We bonded.
I like after that class, like I still had like the picture you painted in my head of you over like the textbook, like trying to black and gray, asking for donations. We're talking about Green Corps.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Please. I'm poor. Okay.
We should
All right.
really get on this. We're getting really sidetracked.
We really are. All right, and I have to call my mom back.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, you said 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm sorry, my students needed me. They just had lots of questions and lots of bonding that we needed to do. All right. So some observers believe that interest groups in America are slowly eroding democracy. That is, that most groups interested only in personal gain, not the national interest. What arguments can you think of in favor for our pluralist, interest group-driven type of government? Yeah. So why do you think why is this a good thing?
Does it go back to like the pluralism, like the pluralist theory, go back to Madison and like his idea of factions, and how if you have like a lot of interest groups, then they're going to be competing with each other, meaning they're going to be like keep each other in check?
Yes, exactly. Just that was beautiful, Andrea. That is exactly the answer I wanted. So yeah, it's about factions. Interest groups are factions. So they need liberty and they need diversity. And you can't really have liberty without factions because people naturally form interest groups. I mean,
so, real quick, going back to number 4, I don't know if we answered this or not. Obviously, it gets affected if people don't join unions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you don't have people support and you don't have money support, how is it going to work?
Right.
So, and it's like, after a while, those free riders weigh heavy. They're not so free and light.
Right.
Because they're taking benefits,
Well, it's just saying, like, don't join a union if you're not in it for the actual union. You're just in it for the money. Because obviously they get paid very well. Or not, I wouldn't say all unions, but labor unions, they do get paid very well.
Yeah, they pay their employees very well, yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting because probably because they're a labor union.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, that'd be nice. So.
Yeah, my uncle makes 6 figures without a college degree in the union, so he's doing good for himself.
Nice. All right. So how NRA's true believers converted a marksmanship group into a mighty gun lobby. What's this article about?
Isn't it about, so the NRA was started by I believe military veterans or something like that, where it was just they believed in the right to protect yourself with weapons. But then it became more about radical gun owners, where they were kind of on the extreme side of things. So they started kicking all the military people off, and now it became this interest group heavily. Yeah, I don't know.
It's about hunting with AK-47s because that's necessary.
That is necessary. That's very necessary.
No,
you can't do it with a simple hunting rifle. No,
because people are terrible at shooting, so you need to hold the trigger and. All right, we got.
You need because civilians need automatics and semi-automatics in their homes.
Well, it says in what is it, the Second Amendment, right? That you have a right to bear arms. It doesn't say what kind of bear arms, just any.
Exactly. So does that mean that as a citizen, I have the ability to hold on to a nuclear detonator?
Of course.
If you need it, sure.
Yeah. I gotta defend myself against Trump. He's gonna detonate it first.
You're gonna kill yourself if anything. But I think definitely a full automatic weapon in your house. Go ahead. If you're, I think that you need obviously the license. Not just anyone can have it, but yeah, if you have a license for it, you have an actual purpose for it. Like you need to provide a purpose for it. Like let's say, all right, I need a full automatic AK because in case of a World War III, I am prepared and equipped.
In case of the zombie apocalypse, which we all know will happen because of media.
Yeah, it might come true.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be like some parasitic virus, because there actually are like these species of mushroom that take over. Like, what?
Have you seen that new drug? It's like a Molly, but 10 times worse than a Molly. And so these people are like zombies. They're like, they ran their head. Have you seen the video, guys? Like the video, they ran their head into like cars and they're still running and they just have so much power and strength on this drug. Huh?
I said I don't have that much free time to watch people on drugs.
It's on Facebook. I gotta share with you guys. It's crazy.
Like you could put it in the YouTube link thing.
If I can find it. It was crazy. It was like I seriously, there's zombies out there now.
That just reminds me of like the guy on bath salts in Florida. You guys remember that?
Uh-huh.
He like ate someone's face or something.
Yeah, freaking Florida man.
It's always Florida.
It is. No, okay. If you just want a good laugh, look up Florida man. And it's just, you'll get like all these like just these headlines and stuff from newspapers, and it's just the bizarrest shit that Floridians do. I mean, Florida is the dick of America. I mean, it is shaped like it.
Oh, it's called Flocka. That's the new drug.
What, like Waka Flocka?
Like Flakka.
Okay.
All right.
Because I'm thinking like Waka Flocka Flame.
All right. So, yeah, it's called Flocka.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. People are nuts.
All right.
What the fuck?
So look at that. You just ran into a car.
What the fuck?
Is this like a news thing or?
Yeah. Can't believe you guys haven't heard of this.
And weed is a category 1 offense.
That's scary.
That is scary.
Yeah, but I don't know, it just makes these people crazy.
Don't come running at my car.
Just take the flock and see what it does for you.
How about no?
Like a flame.
God, no.
Yeah.
That is some zombie ass shit going on.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so R2, let's answer this one and then we'll call it. So this was about collective action and interest group formation. And so if you read this is kind of about the free rider problem that we just talked about. And so I want to answer 10 rather than 9. So how would you explain why groups representing economic interests of large corporations tend to have more clout than groups representing the interests of average people?
They have more leverage, the big businesses.
Mm-hmm. And they're able to collectively act better because they're already a network of humans.
Right.
And so it's easier to get people together because they already are.
Their network.
Yeah, exactly. And as we've been saying this whole lesson today, money talks. So, yeah, that's kind of it. You guys ready to call it?
Yep.
All right. It was a good session, guys.
I have one quick
And
question.
gals.
I have one quick question.
What's your question?
Regarding the little progress report meeting times, are those going to be done over Zoom or?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
the 6 o'clock times that I'm gonna block out Thursday.
Mhm.
And so if you guys want, actually, it would be, Amber, do you think on Thursday, while I do individual meetings, you could host the meeting?
You mean Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday? Yeah.
Just like that way you guys can just talk about it and everything, and that way you guys don't miss out on being able to discuss like the lecture and the concepts and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think that ID number will stay with you.
Well, okay. If
And
I could try to email you or.
yeah, if it doesn't, email me and then I'll forward it to everyone.
Okay.
So thank you for bringing that up, Joseph. That was good man.
So will you pull us from the session and then we'll do it, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. So yeah.
So we don't need to sign up for those times because we're just going to do it in the next meeting.
What was that?
So we don't need to sign up for the times because we're just going to do it in the next meeting.
Well, so I want you to sign up because they're in 10-minute increments and everything, and that way each person gets a time and everything. And also, if you'd rather not take out Wednesday, you can also meet with me earlier in the day at my office hours. That's what the 11:30 to 12:30 section block is, and the time on Friday from 1 to 4 is also gonna be in Park. So, yeah, Lassen Hall 2,200.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the meeting. Have a
Yeah,
good
no problem.
I'll email you the recording.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Basically, the ones that are at 6 are basically the ones that are going to be through Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for 6 to 6:50, those times are online meeting, while the other times are in person.
Okay.
I'll write that on the whatchamacallit, that sheet so people know.
And where will you be during these times?
What was that?
Where will you be during the 11:30 to 12:30?
I'm gonna be in Park, Lassen Hall 2,200.
Park, Lassen Hall.
Yeah, that's the office.
That's
for
in Park or that's in Lassen?
It's in Lassen Hall.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna write it on here so it's Lassen. Oh, it's Park. Sorry. Park. Is that even how you spell Park?
It's an acronym. It's PARC.
RC. Okay, Lassen Hall.
2,200.
Oh.
Mhm.
2002. No.
Yeah, basically you just go up the stairs and you and you just keep walking, and it's right there. So, yeah. Do you guys have any other questions about the meeting? Okay, cool. Then you email me the recording. So the recording is going to convert once it ends, and it's going to convert to an MP4 file, and you're going to send the MP4 file to me.
Okay, awesome.
All right. This is really good. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow or Wednesday. Bye.
Yes.